Welcome to Springfield.
Thank you so much for having me.
You good?
We've done this.
This is the restaurant.
Yeah.
This restaurant has been open for a year.
Very excited to try some of the cuisine. Hello.
This is Rutshelle.
How are you?
Haiti's biggest star.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Welcome to Springfield. I'm happy we're doing this song together. It really came out great. You sound beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So she's one of the biggest stars from the country in the Caribbean right now.
Amazing.
It was a perfect fit. Like I knew that this
I'm
was.
so happy. I told him, I was like, I want to make sure we have a vocalist, you know, from Haiti. So let's do it.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
It's a dream for her as well. It's a dream, yeah.
All right. Shall we sit?
Let's do it. This is our table right here.
All right, cool. Welcome to Springfield.
Thank you for having me.
This is your first visit?
First visit in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to Columbus, took the drive over. It's been cool. We came to the restaurant first, so getting to see where you're born and grew up.
Yeah.
Got to meet your parents too.
Yeah. So my mom's here, my stepdad, my sister are here. My younger brother lives here still. The church where I grew up is right around the corner from here.
Amazing.
We actually rent out the building to Haitian community church groups.
No way. Wow.
And so they're able to have services in Creole at my church that I grew up in.
Incredible.
And so I've been hearing about the Haitians.
So John Legend from Springfield.
My uncle was telling me they were
That's where he from.
Sanctuary.
Springfield, where
my family just were like, yeah, there's like 10,000
new Haitians
or more new
there,
Haitians in the community. I was like, oh wow, how did that happen?
Yeah.
But we were shrinking for so long.
Yeah.
And we were losing jobs. People, when they
Springfield is big right now because of the, thing that Trump said and all them people talking about those Haitians are eating pets. Which, come on, bro. Come on. Eating pets? Really? Come on. Anyways, let's get back to it.
would leave town, and there just wasn't a lot of opportunity for people. We peaked at around 80,000 people when we were booming, manufacturing was booming and everything. And by the time, a few years ago, we had shrunken to like 58,000 people. So what this story is to me is a turnaround story. It's a growth story. The community is thriving, and there's a new energy in the community. And it made it attractive for people who were looking for a better life and for opportunity. And that's why we had so many Haitians come to visit here.
That's so incredible. And I think that just your experience in this city to me is like, I love the fact that you spoke up in the way you did. I found out that you lived in Springfield through this whole situation. And it was really meaningful. Like I remember when I texted you about everything going on in the city, and I was just like, thank you for speaking up and doing that. You responded to me and you said it's the right thing to do.
Of course, and I feel like a lot of times there's a lot of heat, but not a lot of light. And the way that former President Trump talked about it, the way J.D. Vance was talking about it, they brought a lot of heat and like animosity and divisiveness to the conversation. And I wanted to bring some light. And you notice when I did my Instagram video, like I was calm, I was in my robe, I was in my hotel room.
No anger.
And I was just like,
so he must have defended that, right? There, you know what I'm saying? Defended that.
Actually happening.
Come on, man.
And I had spoken
Chill
to
out on that
my
rhetoric.
family members, I've spoken to the community, leaders, and got a sense of what was really going on here. And like I said, this is a turnaround story. This is a growth story. There are all these new job opportunities here. And so it made Springfield an attractive place for people to come and live and build their families. And like I said, this literally is the American dream. This is what people have come to this country for centuries now. And so we shouldn't run from that. We should embrace that. And there's always going to be, like I said, there's always going to be growing pains and adjustments that people got to make. And whenever there's a first generation coming to the community, like this community has a lot of German descendants, Irish descendants, like all of them were new at some point.
Of course.
And they were all discriminated
And they had to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, and they were all discriminated against when they came.
Figuring out how to make it work.
I want everybody to remember that history and context. Every time we've had these new immigrants was near my home on the east side, and then my grandmother, she would teach me gospel music as well, and so I was always getting both. I was getting the classical training and the gospel training.
Such a good combo.
And so that started at a young age, and I just never stopped playing after that. I just kept getting better and better, and then my grandmother died when I was pretty young, and eventually it meant I had to take over the music at the church, because we weren't a huge church.
Wait, how old were you at that point?
I was like 11, 12 years old.
You took over the music for the entire church?
I was like 12, And this is when I'm about to go into high school. My parents got divorced, and my mom wasn't able to lead the choir anymore, so I was basically like taking over for both the jobs that my mom and my grandmother were doing when I was 12 years old.
And it felt natural?
No, not at first. You know, it took a little bit, but I was able to grow a lot and take on that responsibility, and I really think it just made me a better artist and musician, because I think whenever I just saw Jermaine Dupri post something about how we're losing something by a lot of our young people not being in church, because so many of our musicians that we grew up on were raised in church, and it gave all of them the opportunity to like develop their chops.
Of course, because you're performing every day.
Every week you're like literally on stage, like even though you don't call it a stage, like you're performing in front of people. Performing is different than practicing. It forces you to get it ready. It forces you to practice. It forces you to have finished product that's ready to go out to the audience. And so having that experience of continually having to prepare for a finished product every week.
You get so honed.
It just develops you as a performer, as a musician, as an arranger, just everything that you would need to be like a really successful artist, producer, like it gives you a lot of those tools you would need.
Of course.
And so the fact that people don't go to church as much and don't play in church as much, I think it is hurting, you know,
the development of the artistry.
The musical chops of this younger generation.
It's so interesting because I feel like Haitian culture is very much improvisational. So a lot of Haitian, just anybody that you meet and
see, John Legend, hey, you ain't got to worry about that when the Haitian church. There's so much Haitians that go to church. So much Haitians that go to church. That's what they do. They go to church. It's a lot of Haitians that go to church. All they do is go to church. They go to church. So yeah, I listen. Take advantage, man. Understand, man. L'église, la caille, l'école. Church, school, home.
When you're in the country, they can do something. So it's either drumming, beatboxing, singing, rapping, play any instrument. They can figure it out, and I feel like there's a sense of performance in the culture that's just innate. So I think there's a lot in common with the church.
And it doesn't have to be the church, but it needs to be somewhere where you are able to like develop your chops.
Of course.
And so for me it was the church. For some people it might be like just being around a bunch of other musicians. And some schools still have music programs, which we need more of. But one way or another, you need that laboratory
of course.
to like develop that.
And I heard also you were in an a cappella group.
I was in an a cappella group at Penn. I ended up directing it. So having that classical side too helped me be able to like arrange and write the notes out and all that stuff.
So after military school, I ended up being pre-med in college. So I thought I was gonna become a doctor. And then music was a hobby. I was DJing for fun, producing for fun. And eventually one day it just took off, and I had at that time it was like SoundCloud. So I had a couple of things on SoundCloud that ended up getting me in front of a lot of artists that I really admired.
Nice.
And started touring all around the world. So I started touring at 18 or 19 at that point, and performed a lot of big DJs at that point.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 32 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you think about how you make music, because DJs is such a collaborative
of course.
Space. How do you think about like who you want to collaborate with?
I honestly look at it like I'm connecting parts of the world. So in everything that I create, even when I used to make early mashups and DJing and stuff, I was taking songs from different parts of the world and fusing them and finding the similarities between the two. So in terms of collaboration, I'm always thinking about it. Who's the parallel person or the parallel energy to what this person's already doing in their world, in their space. And sometimes it's obvious, and sometimes it's like not obvious at all. And
it's fun to
it.
bring those things together because it really shows you how connected we are.
Absolutely.
As humans, and then how music is able to like make that connection very clear. Like, we have so much in common, even with our music, even though different countries have different cultures and styles. There's so many ways where they feel like they can come together.
They bring us together.
Yeah.
I think
Where the food at, man? Where the
it brings
food
a
at?
sense of separation, and to me,
Where the
food,
at,
most
man?
exciting parts of
What
culture
y'all gonna bring
are
out?
food and music.
Yeah.
Hey, I
We get to
understand.
experience both today.
Yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of both. So actually, have you had
this is where John Legend's
I
from.
have
you know what I'm
not
saying?
that we can
Where the
recall
manje
from
at,
Haiti.
man? God.
I guess the closest thing would be like Creole food in New Orleans
Okay,
or something
amazing.
like that.
All right.
But I imagine it's still quite a bit different.
There's actually a lot more similarities than you
Okay.
realize. Yeah. Right now we're in Goute restaurant, and they opened a year ago. So I got to meet Rose, and I got to meet the team, and they prepared a spread for us. We have a lot of different
So,
things. Yeah.
what was Rose's story of finding her way to Springfield?
Yeah, when she opened it last year, she said that the outpouring of love was so amazing, and it's been such an amazing success story for the city too.
Now, are there other Haitian restaurants in town?
There are more.
Okay.
Yeah, I found out there's a couple more. This one's probably the biggest at this point, but the food, there's different types of food for Haitian restaurants, right? So some are more like cafe, pâtisserie, kind of like a French bakery type of vibe.
Okay.
And then some are more like meals, plates, different kinds of dishes. We're gonna have a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I'm excited.
All right, let's see what food we got. And this is Harriet from the restaurant as well.
Hi, Harriet. How are you? Thank you. This looks good.
So, qui pâte ça? Pâte girl, pâte cordée. So this is a traditional dish in Haiti. You can find any street corner, and it has island salt in it, which is a type of fish.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
dig in.
So it kind of looks like if you're in Jamaica.
Yeah, actually like the patties.
Yeah,
Pate
like the
island
patties
salt.
there.
Different meats.
I'm into it.
You know. That's a pate corde.
that's really
that's,
good.
you know.
There's a few different variations of this specific
You
pate,
drop it that little zin there,
but this is one of the
that
very
little
typical meals that
You know
you
what I'm
find
saying?
as a snack.
With the little
throughout the day.
onions in there.
Or like a
Ooh,
fish.
that thing be fwappy.
Because the Jamaican ones I've had usually been like beef or I think chicken.
And sometimes they use something escovitch. That's like another type of fish. too.
escovitch, yeah.
So there's a few different variations. In the English-speaking Caribbean, there's certain meals that are very common. French-speaking Caribbean has its own thing.
Yeah.
Spanish-speaking Caribbean, it's just a melting pot.
Oh, this
Thank
looks
you so
good.
much.
So everything's fried.
Everything's fried.
Beautiful. The camera's got to eat first.
Yeah, they do. Every time. This is what you would call a fritai plate.
That look good right there.
So fritai is fried foods, a bunch of different fried foods. Just like the pate corde, there would be a section in the street corner where they would just be frying different kinds of dishes, and these are all the traditional Haitian dishes. This meal right here, almost everything is made with épices, and épices is like the Haitian spice blend. And you would take a little bit of griot
Okay.
and some pickles, and you take it as a bite.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the
combo.
Take
vegan
it some spicy,
That pork is
vinaigrette.
amazing.
stuff be
Pork is
looking like.
one of
But
those things.
I would assume that
This right
it's
here,
pretty easy to do.
with
You know,
some
I
rum.
mean, just
Her beer. So the next round of dishes,
oh, you put some lick in that thing,
there's a lot of
boy.
history behind them.
This with some rum.
You already know. I wish we had some
Some
Bubble.
Barbuncle? What's that?
Bubble is our
probably
big
passion
national
fruit.
rum.
Oh, okay.
in Haiti, yeah. Oh, see, maybe we're gonna find some. It's fresh squeezed too.
It's delicious.
So passion fruit, plentiful in Haiti.
Yeah.
Delicious fruit. We have amazing
Oh, it's
mangoes
so
too.
good.
Yeah.
It's like refreshing, sweet.
Yeah. So you brought up New Orleans a few times actually, and that was something that I think a lot of people maybe don't realize is how big of a connection
Of course.
there is between New Orleans, the African American community in New Orleans,
Yes.
the Caribbean community in Haiti, the
Yes.
Afro-Caribbean community in Cuba.
Yes.
Not only with the food, but also with the music.
Yeah.
With jazz and merengue and so many things that were
Zydeco.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I really believe New Orleans is the most special city in America because its culture is so unique.
Yeah.
And it's because of that
Yeah.
intersection
Yeah.
of so many things. It just makes it the most like interesting cultural gumbo.
Yeah, Jen, you couldn't put it better. Like it really is a gumbo. In terms of the Haitian history side of it, when Haiti got its independence, it's the second country after the United States in 1804 to gain their independence in the entire Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So it was through
Black at that, you know.
and
Overture.
Yeah. Oh, you know the story.
Boule
you
tête
know,
coupe,
yeah.
you
So
know,
when they
boule
got
carré
their-
coupe tête.
their
Yeah.
independence,
It was.
the consequence of that for France was that France had to sell all of the territory that they had in the United States.
Yes, the
which was
Louisiana Purchase.
yeah.
Yes. The Louisiana Purchase, but also the consequence for Haiti was pretty extreme.
Oh,
like
massive.
the West cracked
Taxes
down on them.
and tariffs. and-
Yeah, I feel
I
like
know them boys. Oh,
yeah,
them.
not
Hey,
enough people realize
make me
that
a
Haiti's really
to-go
still paying
plate,
for
Absolutely.
s'il vous plaît.
having won their
I know them boys was
independence
putting
already.
on for that
The
camera.
rest of the
Make me a
the
to-go
West
plate.
wanted to punish them.
Yeah.
And set an example, like if you do this, like
Yeah.
this is what's gonna happen to you.
Yeah, it
And
was-
they really been like screwing Haitians in so many ways.
Yeah.
Since then.
Yeah, yeah. And I think
Crazy.
unfortunately a lot of the historical significance of that revolution is downplayed in modern history, even in terms of the flags of so many countries within South America, right? In Colombia and Venezuela, and all of these freedom fights that happen, right, to gain independence. Merci un peu. Good thing we're talking about freedom because this is a very important dish about freedom. So when all of that happened, Haiti's flag, the red and blue flag, is the base of all of these other flags in the region. And it was because Haitians, once we gained our independence, sent soldiers, sent arms, support, money to all these other nations. Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, there's a big connection. And this dish right here, this is soup jumeau. So remember when you had asked about what's the dish in Haiti? This is made from squash.
Okay.
And this,
Squash,
the
pumpkin.
significance of this is
Soup jumeau.
at the time, the enslaved people of Haiti, when the French were literally colonizing everything in the country, were picking squash and were not allowed to eat it.
Oh wow.
And so when the revolution happened, Haitians ate squash soup, this exact soup, the entire day.
Oh, so this is like
This is the freedom soup.
The soup of freedom.
This is soup of
Let's
freedom.
go.
Hey, soup jumeau good,
Is it
boy.
vegetarian?
Tell you, boy.
Sometimes you can put meat in it. I
Eat
see here
that
they
thing
put a
for like
couple
4 days.
different
That's our Thanksgiving, boy.
vegetables,
That's like
some
a whole
meat,
week
noodles.
worth after the 1st
little
of
meat, yeah.
January.
It's very good.
Yeah. But this, we celebrate this January 1st every single year.
Told you, boy.
You have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
They're real now. I told you.
Right.
It has elements of a stew. The squash is a really thicker base for the soup.
I love the potato in it.
Oh yeah. But this right here is so symbolic for the Haitian people. And I think this is like probably the most regional specific dish. Like in Haiti, you will only find this in Haiti.
Yeah, I've never had it. Never seen it anywhere else. Deep flavor. I love a stew.
Oh yeah, same.
I just love
John
slow
Legend,
cooking
I mangé
anything.
tout ça, man. John Legend gonna walk out that thing.
This stew is amazing.
No, it's so good. It's so good. This is like one of my favorite Haitian meals.
It's a good freedom food.
Right?
I'm with it.
It's hearty. You can tell it has history in it. You take every bite.
Yeah.
There's something to it. I was so happy they made this special for us today.
Oh, okay. So it's not on the menu.
Yeah,
normally?
this is normally
It's like a special
yeah,
meal.
it's a special thing. So
Okay.
So shout out to Rose again for.
So it's
making
almost
this
like
happen.
a Thanksgiving meal.
a bit. It's a bit like except
Yeah,
January
I told
1st.
you, it's like our Thanksgiving.
That's so interesting. So on New Year's Day,
Yep.
and that day was the
That
day,
was the
like
Freedom
the
Day,
Liberation
the
Day.
Revolution Day. Yeah.
Wow,
So I think it really does feel like renewal every year.
that's amazing.
Because when we hit that day, we just.
Zoe
That's why
Papi's
you don't
coming
have
from
it in a
church
restaurant
in the
every day.
background.
Like, you gotta,
Yeah.
like, this is what's
You got to.
real
You got to.
journalism behind it. And
Pushing a narrative.
Yes.
Versus doing, yeah.
Telling them boys they're eating
versus
pets
what's
over
biased,
there.
what's
Come on,
just
Zoe.
completely false. Some stuff out here is just like
Yeah, it's
literally
like made up.
completely made up. And then even the stuff like the eating the cats and the dogs that they were talking about, like it was a lie that kept growing like in the telephone game.
Yeah. And was debunked so many times.
And it kept debunking.
Including the original person
Yeah,
that said
and
it.
the original person was like, "Oh no, actually, I found my cat," but it had already traveled around the world like so many times.
Yeah.
And people need to be like a little more skeptical.
Yeah.
Particularly about rumors that aren't backed by real journalism and real fact checking, and we've got to like. We've got to be discerning when it comes to information we allow into our lives, because they'll have you all over the place, and a lot of it's to scare people. You know, fear is such a powerful force,
It's a
and it can
motivator.
be the death knell of like real like society.
Yeah.
because if everyone's living in fear, then their adrenaline is up, their fight or flight, they're not thinking rationally.
Yeah.
And it causes people to do some things that aren't good for them or good for the community.
Yeah. And I think that's why you question just more broad, but do you feel like artists in general should be advocates? Should they speak up?
Yes, but be humble, you know. Like, do the work of learning about what you're talking about.
The research and everything.
And just because you have a platform doesn't mean you know what you're talking about.
Of course, yeah.
I just want artists, if they're going to be engaged, to at least be humble enough to listen first, and then use your platform to amplify the voices of people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And I know that you tapped in with the Haitian leaders in this community as this was going on as well.
And we, since I posted that, I've done more. I had a Zoom with the city leaders and the Haitian community leader, community organization leader. And then we've done things to donate to some of the service providers in the community, like helping with health and different things. Because one of the issues is when a population comes in and they're not native English speakers, some services are harder to deliver. So medical, if you're going into the doctor, you need to be able to tell them what's wrong.
Of course.
And so needing to beef up your translator services and also just staffing, because it's going to take more time to do anything, and so the lines will be longer and all these different things. So these are some of the growing pains that happen because of someone coming in with a different language skill and cultural differences. So we needed to build up our infrastructure to accommodate that, and so the private donations are helping, including ours, but also the government. I think the state government has helped, and we're working on getting more support from the federal government too, so that the resources that need to be here
to support
resources
to
for real.
to integrate people.
Put the resources out there, man. Help them, economize on that as well.
This is it's more
America,
than paying
man.
for itself when it comes to the fact that the economy has grown and there are more jobs available, there's more money in the city for people to buy homes and rent homes and come to restaurants.
And it enriches the city.
Go to the grocery store. It just grows the whole economy for everybody. And so, so we have to spend some money to accommodate and integrate people, but it's worth it.
I hope anybody that watches this and feels like they want to be able to force
more money flowing through the city,
to do the research,
more present, businesses
to speak to the
open,
leaders,
be present.
allow these people to structurally do things
in the criminal justice
without hating on them.
World. He always talks about
Talking about they eating pets and stuff.
That means actually getting close.
Bro, you just
familiarity with kompa before we had.
Not very familiar. How would you describe it as a genre?
So kompa is originally, right, with the conversation with New Orleans comes into this as well. As jazz was being developed, there were different types of genres that were percolating in the Caribbean and Haiti and Cuba and in America. So you had blues and jazz and merengue and these different genres. So Haiti had merengue. And merengue, eventually in the 1950s, there was a very famous artist in Haiti called Nemo Jean-Baptiste. He became the founder. He invented this genre called kompa. It was called kompa direct. So he was a maestro. That was his nickname. It became now maestro is like the head of a band in Haiti. That's how you call a band member. But he infused elements of jazz, elements of merengue, elements of different things happening around the world, West African rhythms with some of the orchestration from Europe, some of the indigenous sounds, and kompa is the result of it, and it's very romantic.
I think most people's most well-known Haitian artist is Wyclef. When you look at his career and the Carnival and some of the albums he's done, how much has he integrated kompa into his
in a big way? And I'm really grateful Wyclef's become a good friend and a mentor, and I think that in his journey, he always looked at kompa as the foundation, and the church too. It was a really big part of his life. So he had these elements that he wanted to make sure he wanted Haiti to be seen. So in the career path of Wyclef Jean, the artist, the Fugees, of course, the idea of kompa always being present, even if it was very subtle with the guitar riff, or maybe it was like in some of the rhythms. He was a big pioneer.
I played that Carnival album out.
It's incredible.
It's such a great. If you listen to it now, it really holds up. It holds up so well.
Yeah. So and that's so cool that you had that experience, even if it's more subtly.
We actually made music together. We did a remix of So High. He produced it, and Lauren guested on it.
Amazing.
And did a verse and a duet with me.
Amazing.
So
shout out Michael.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment with him. We've written together since then too, and Jerry and the whole crew.
He's come out to my block party a bunch of times.
Yeah. So what is this?
This cremas is alcoholic drink.
Okay.
But very sweet.
Okay.
So it's like an after dinner.
Yeah.
Take a sip. One of the most delicious sweet drinks.
And is there a cream in there?
It's made with cream as well.
It smells like cinnamon or like nutmeg or something.
It has nutmeg, cinnamon, a little bit of cream. You got all the flavors.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. It's almost like the cream you put on a drink.
Oh yeah. And it's strong.
Yeah,
it got some punch.
2 sips and you're having a party.
It's like almost like an eggnog with rum.
That's exactly it.
That boy John finna get another sip though. Talk about 2 sips in there. That boy John finna get another sip, get right.
I'm gonna come back here.
Really
I love it. I'm gonna come back here. I know that.
What's Goute shout out for the moment?
And I just think it's so cool for Springfield. Like, this makes Springfield cooler. Like, come on.
I also think I'm happy I got to visit. You know, like this was such a great reason to come and see where you grew up and get to experience your hometown.
Yeah, man, this is truly like this is the heart of it.
So
there she is.
Mas vini tu, woman. Nous te vle mande yo. Qui là nous vini dans Springfield?
Moi-même, moi venu dans Springfield en 2016.
So she arrived in 2016.
Oh, okay. So
Pour ou bien avec famille?
Non, moi pour continuer.
By herself.
Okay.
Et vous te connaissez, vous avez ouvert un restaurant, bien sûr, qui arrive après.
And why did you come?
Non, moi j'étais toujours connais, mais fait ça tout côté me passer. Je toujours aimé à faire manger.
OK. Et pour qui ça a choisi Springfield? C'est ça le demandé.
Bon, parce que je viens dans la zone là, moi ouais, te gain en pile monde, gain monde qui pas gain temps pour yo faire manger. Yo toujours demandé me service faire manger pour yo. Yo aimé manger me faire et puis me tout profiter penser mettre un restaurant.
So she always loved to make food, even when she was in Haiti. And she had heard that in Springfield, there were people that didn't have the time to cook. And so she chose to come here in order to provide the service and to make the food.
And how long has the restaurant been here?
Qui l'a ouvert le restaurant?
Restaurant ouvert 29 juillet 2023.
So the 29th of July, 2023.
Oh, so it's brand new.
It's brand new. And this is the manager of the restaurant.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So you were here 7 years prior to opening.
Vous étiez là 7 ans avant d'ouvrir le restaurant.
Oui, j'étais là avant, mais le qui passe, moi pas. Le problème de venir, je ne parle pas l'anglais.
She didn't speak English, so it was complicated for her.
C'est espagnol, je parle.
And she speaks Spanish.
Je devais rencontrer Roman.
And she met with Roman.
Quand il y a Roman parle anglais, moi-même parle espagnol. Quand il y a nous mettons en tête nous ensemble, nous juste choisi pour nous mettre business en campagne.
So they met while she was here, and because he spoke English, she spoke Spanish, and they both spoke Creole. She felt she had what she needed to be able to open the restaurant.
Okay, amazing. Well, the food is just magnificent.
Manger tellement bon, bien manger, bien goûter tout bail. Et qui j'en ressenti aujourd'hui?
Je me sens content, je me sens fier d'avoir que nous venons supporter moi, nous venons accompagner là. Je me sens bon, je me sens bien, je me sens fier de moi.
She said she's so proud and she's so happy.
Very proud.
We came and had this meal with her.
Thank you.
Et nous espérons avec ça, toi, avec vidéo ça pour tout le monde qui a regardé, qui va venir visiter le restaurant Rose Goute.
Okay.
Donc, à venir manger haïtien. Et bon travail qu'on a fait, on a continué à courir nous.
Okay.
Merci un peu.
Okay.
And thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, and that wraps it up right there. As you can see, it was a pleasure to see that John Legend enjoyed some of that Haitian foods, got some of that Haitian history, learned something about Haiti that he never knew about, and enjoyed it in his hometown of Springfield, Ohio, man. Shouts out to that boy John Legend, and of course for Michaël Brun for getting that boy out there. You know what I'm saying? Michaël Brun, legendary
Haitian worldwide DJ. You know, I appreciate it. You know, of course, we got to do bigger things. ZofaceTV. Like, subscribe, and until next time, keep watching.